Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of the Shooters Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Matt, at Post323. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. You can follow us on YouTube at the Shooters Lounge and follow us on the socials at Shooters Lounge 3. Today, we're going to be talking Orlando Magic basketball, and who better to have on talking Orlando Magic basketball? He's one of the very active on the socials when it comes to all things Orlando Magic. We have Geraint from Orlando Magic UK. Geraint, welcome to the Shooters Lounge, bro.
Hey, how's it going? Good. Thank you for having me on. Long time listener, obviously first time on. So very excited today to jump on and talk to you, Matt. So yeah.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Pleasure to have you on, mate. We finally did it. I know we were in touch a few months ago when I said we're going to have you on, and then the season finished, and I was like, man, I'm going to have to get back to Geraint and get him on the show. So we finally did it, mate. Here we are. So we're going to talk some Orlando Magic today, bro.
That's it, and that's the best conversation topic going when you're talking to me. Yeah.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. You're one of the go-to guys, everything Orlando Magic. So, yes, it's an honor to have you on. So, so how you doing, bro? Are we good?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Obviously, the Magic have been up and down, and my kind of mood goes up and down with the Magic. You know, you have good days, you have your bad days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? So I think we're just looking forward to the All-Star break at the moment, just getting a bit of a reset, and time to get some practice in, and tackle the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of teams who are kind of waiting for that kind of like just over a week off, aren't they? I think just kind of stumbling the way to the All-Star break and then kind of come back, and then it's a kind of sprint finish, isn't it? To hopefully the playoffs, mate. I think, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I was only looking at our schedule now. I think we got 2-3 games now before the All-Star break, and we have to win those. I know we're going to get on to how the season's going and that, but critical at the moment. Every game counts, and yeah, we need to start making some moves into solidifying our position in the standings.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So, like you say, yeah. So we're going to be talking about kind of how the season has been going so far with the Magic. So you're sitting at 8th at the moment, 26 and 28. It all kind of started very well, Geraint, doesn't it? But as I've said on this pod a lot of times, you need luck with injuries, and I think your team this season, mate, has been one of them teams that hasn't had the injury luck that some teams have had. You've had a lot of guys out, haven't you? So, kind of in your own words, mate, how has the season been going for you guys, and hopefully where can you see it going, kind of thing?
Yeah, well, you take it back to the off season, and we were a player in the free agent market. Obviously, able to sign Contavious Caldwell-Pope, which was a real good get for us, seeing as we haven't signed a marquee free agent for such a long time. Flirted with Paul George as well. I don't think the meeting actually happened, but we were one of his teams on the list. That's probably good for the best, actually. Seeing how Paul's getting on with the Sixers.
Yeah, you don't need another injury guy, do you?
No, you don't. And obviously, there's a lot of money being paid to Mr. George there in Philly.
Yeah.
So so obviously, the off season. We had a good season last year, so take it back to that. Coach Mosley's come in 3 years ago, brought the team on, won 22 games the first season, 34 the second, and then 47. And it was better than what anyone would have expected. He was the coach of the year running. And then obviously we have a decent off season. Bring KCP in, Corey Joseph as a backup point guard, to name but a few. But obviously, as you touched upon there, Matt, the injury bug struck again. We haven't had much luck in the last couple of years. Markel Fultz has been out, Wendell Carter, Jonathan Isaac. So it's been really, really difficult, and I think we've used 21, 22 different starting fives now, and we're on how many games have we played now? 26. Oh God, yeah, near around 50 odd, coming up to 50, and that's a lot of. It's not good for the continuity, is it? Playing
No,
different players.
definitely not.
So yeah, Mo Wagner's gone down for the whole season
Yeah.
with a torn ACL in his knee. So he was a big spark off our bench. You had Banchero out after the 5th game for just over 2 months, I think it was, with a torn oblique.
Yeah.
And then Franz Wagner went down with the exact same injury for a month and a half, about a month after that. So he was
I've
playing.
never known that ever happen, bro. It's for such a weird injury, and then to happen to 2 of the players on the same team it's mad, isn't it, that man?
Absolutely. I had to look up what it was, and I
Yeah,
think it's
I
more
mean,
of a common baseball injury. So
yeah,
for it to happen to 2 basketball players,
unbelievable.
but the guy who had it previous to that was Cole Anthony about 3 years ago. So
Oh wow,
another
no,
Magic player. So I don't know if there's anything going on with the medical staff, or being overcautious or something. I couldn't tell you,
yeah,
but no. So the season, like I said, it's been impacted by a lot of injuries. We started off well, fighting, and I think at Christmas Day we were 19 and 12, third or fourth in the East.
yeah,
With a makeshift roster. Franz then went down, and since that we've gone 7 and 16, and not playing particularly well now with the 2 stars back, which has been a bit of a shame. Defense was our calling card.
yeah,
That's slipped a bit now. And then you've got major issues with the offense, and I think we'll get onto that in some of the other points. But
yeah.
up and down, really, to be honest, mate.
Yeah.
For this year.
Yeah, 3 and 7 in the last 10, isn't it? It's now you kind of starting to get people back, and now you're kind of struggling. I think it's like you say, you start jumbling all these different lineups and stuff. People being out and people trying to pick up the slack, and then people adjusting them for when them guys get back. Their minutes reduced. Who were getting a bit more minutes when the guys were out. Now they're not getting as many, and it's all just trying to put it together. I mean, 5 games in, mate, Paolo looked like MVP, didn't he? Like, it was
Well,
like,
he scored 50. He scored 50
yeah,
the night before.
he come out the blocks and just absolutely, and we're like, oh my god, like Paolo's going to kind of make the jump, as people say, and make that jump to kind of a superstar level, and you're like, my god, he's just come out the blocks here, and then like you say, 50, and then that was it. Then we never saw him again until a couple of months later. A real shame, isn't it? How it fell, really.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously signing Contavious Caldwell Pope was to help with the offense, spread the floor. So we've obviously had issues shooting in the past.
Yeah, the 3-point shooting has been a problem last few years, mate. Hasn't it, I think.
Oh yeah, it's nigh on awful.
Yeah, I mean, last year in the playoffs, that could have maybe been the difference. You might have beat Cleveland. It went 7 games, didn't it? You could have maybe have got through that first round if a bit more shooting in Game 7, and you may have been the ones going through to see Boston, weren't you, in round 2? Do you know what I mean? So they addressed that issue by getting Pope in. A good vet. He's been there. He's been in some big games and stuff. So yeah, it was a kind of they looked at the issues of what you had and then kind of addressed that. And then unfortunately, 5 games in, and then it's all your best players out, and then it's like, right, okay, now what do we do?
Yeah. And I mean, you look at Cleveland this year, they've had a coaching change, but it's pretty much the same personnel on the floor. We took them to 7, as you mentioned. We were up 18 in the second period.
Yeah.
Period. Sorry, I'm talking ice hockey now. Quarter. We've been watching too much ice hockey recently.
I know, you're good, man. You're
good. Up 18, and I think that game, Franz Wagner, I think he might have gone 1 for 12 or something. I think he really struggled. We succumbed to them in the end, but it was a real opportunity to get that experience under your belt.
No, absolutely. I was looking at that series because I had you guys winning 7, so I was kind of I was looking at you boys, and I thought second quarter, I'm like, we're looking good here, mate. And then you kind of just, I think you kind of went cold second half. Correct me if I'm wrong, G.
Yeah,
but kind of went cold, didn't you, second half, and then and then it's over, isn't it? Game 7, it's win or go home, and unfortunately it kind of ended like that, didn't it? So Paulo going out, and then you lose Mo Wagner, and then it just seems one. Then Franz Wagner becomes the guy. Then he starts playing really well, and then he goes down. It just seems like, and then
you've got Jalen Suggs out,
and then it just seemed like the next guy who was stepping up. It was like, yeah, he's out now, and then Suggs, to that kind of freak, seemed quite innocuous, kind of a non-contact thing, didn't it? He was out for a while, wasn't he? Has he just come back? Is he out again now?
No,
I think
he's still out. I think we'll probably keep him out now until the All-Star break, just to give him that extended period on the sideline just to recover. But you watch Jalen Suggs on the floor, right? You think Marcus Smart, Alex Caruso, great defenders, throw their bodies on the line. He's an ex-football player. I think he was Mr. Football for Minnesota and Mr. Basketball the same year.
Wow. Okay.
But you watch him, he's diving on the floor constantly. It's not surprising that he's picking up these injuries.
Yeah.
But we go as he goes. He's the motor. He is the guy that drives the defense. You get Caldwell Pope and Suggs on the floor with Paulo Franz and Bitadze, and it's a decent lineup. Just need a bit more shooting.
Yeah, I think, defense, I think you're always in around the top 5, aren't you, G? Do you know what I mean? You're always in that kind of like, but it's the offense. Are you dead last? Sorry, or you're in that bottom 3, I think, unfortunately, mate.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was 30th. But
it's struggling to. So if you don't score a lot, you're averaging just over 100 points a game. Your defense has got to be good, because you're not going to win a lot of games. Not because you can't score the ball that much. So the margins are quite fine, aren't they, for you guys, mate? Correct me if I'm wrong.
There was a graphic come up on the game we played against San Antonio, I think Saturday night. The Magic commentators are great. They give us lots of stats and weird and wonderful information. But just what I think we were 13-1 when we score 113 points. Now you think about all the other teams in the NBA who average over 113 points. And you think, but it's not hard. All we need to do is score a few more. The defense is there.
Yeah.
So the blueprint's right. It's just the execution.
I do wonder, though, are you a team who's kind of better in the playoffs because things slow down, the pace isn't as quick, it's a more half-court game? Could we be like, regular season, it could go either way, 50-50 games, but I don't know, maybe playoffs, or are we thinking that, you might be fit better for that kind of playoff, that kind of style of basketball, G? I don't know.
Yeah, you could be right there. And another thing to add, we often discuss this in the Magic UK community. We're not a fast-paced team any longer. Obviously, we play Caldwell Pope and Suggs. We haven't got your classic point guard, somebody who can dribble the ball fast, got great handles, can drive, penetrate, and kick. Now, you might see a jersey up on my wall there. He is my my favourite player of all time, Markelle Fultz. Obviously, we unfortunately let him go over the summer, and he did that for us. So it was a real concern of mine at the beginning of the season that we didn't have an out-and-out point guard. Suggs is more a 2, Pope's maybe a 2-3, and then you've got Wagner and Banchero, who do handle the ball a lot. Unfortunately, Markelle didn't shoot the ball as well as we'd hoped, because obviously he had that thoracic outlet syndrome in his shoulder. So there's a lot of half-court stuff for the Magic, and maybe that's another reason we don't score as many points. But the defense is there. So,
No, absolutely. Yeah, anybody who follows G on social media know his love for Markelle Fultz knows no boundaries. So last season you defended him till the death, didn't you, mate? I think
to the hills, and I still will.
And you still will. Did he find a team after he left?
No, he's currently still a free agent. And
wow! Oh, mate, if you end up signing in, mate, it's going to make your year, mate.
Oh, it will. It will. There was a bit of a teaser a couple of weeks ago on Instagram. Our sort of one of the guys in the back room, Arnie Kanda.
Yeah.
He just posted a photo of Jalen Suggs wearing a Mark Alfaltz t-shirt. I
Oh,
can't remember
yeah.
what the headline was, but
Right.
Gary from the pod messaged. He's like, "Oh, I think Mark Al might be coming back," and I got all excited and nothing.
Yeah, and you're like, don't tempt me,
So,
don't tease me, man.
yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
think I was surprised. I've said this on the pod before. That you didn't go for somebody like Tyus Jones in the off season. I was really surprised. I thought that, like you said, to have that person to kind of run, generally like run the offense. He's not going to have he's not going to have the ball in his hands at the end of games, but throughout
No.
the game, you've got somebody who's kind of going to make the offense run.
Yeah,
And
dictate it. Yeah,
yeah, I
absolutely.
thought that would have been a really good signing for you guys, and surprised. I don't know if you tried to sign him or you had meetings, but I thought he would fit really well into
Good.
what you were kind of missing, mate, which is what you kind of alluded to, mate. So I was really surprised he
Yeah,
ended up
another.
signing with the Suns instead, but I thought he'd have fitted in well, that kind of a player.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk, and people
Mm.
said they wanted Tyus Jones. I mean, at the time, I still rather Markel come back, but seeing as he didn't come back, I'd rather we did have a point guard, and to have one
Mm.
with Jones on the back, it's an easy jersey for me to pick up. One that's never gonna, go away really, with my
Yeah,
surname Jones.
absolutely.
Um, so it's a disappointment. We didn't have a point guard, and then we talk about the trade deadline now. We're one of two teams that didn't make a move at all.
Yeah,
We're looking at ourselves and the Denver Nuggets. We were all disappointed. Nothing
yeah,
was made. In fact, there was a clip that was released today by Brian Windhorse, and he was asked, "Were the Magic active?" And I think he spoke to a couple of execs who said, "Well, we'll speak to the Magic, but the Magic didn't call out
no.
to us."
Mm.
So Jeff Weltman, he came on the Magic, not on Magic Radio, a show the day after the trade deadline, and said,
Mhm.
didn't materialize, etc. So he kind of, just accepted it. But that's come out today now. I think maybe time is ticking down on Jeff Weltman to, he needs to get
Mm.
Paolo and Franz the help
Mm.
that they need.
No, absolutely, yeah. You can't. You've kind of got your two kind of cornerstones now, and it's now time to start building round them, mate. Like you say, isn't it? That I
Yeah.
think you found who your two kind of star players are, which I think now how teams are built now. The kind of era of the big three is over, and it's a kind of like you have two cornerstones, and then you have a good second unit around them, don't you? And
You do.
a good supporting cast. So I think you've found those two because, well, you've paid Franz a lot of money, didn't you, in the off season too?
Yeah.
So I think that kind of set your stall out. Even though a lot of people were criticising his performance in the game 7, you still paid him that money afterwards, didn't you? So you kind of set your stall out as this is our guy. This is one of our guys. So now it's time to, like you say, put the right kind of people around. So it was surprising, mate, that they didn't make any moves, bro, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there was names, being talked about: Kobe White, Anthony
Mm,
Simons, Colin Sexton, possibly could have been had cheap. Dennis
yeah.
Schroeder, you know,
Mm,
Detroit got him for next to nothing.
yeah.
Obviously, he's German as well. Teammates
Mm.
with Franz and Mo.
Yeah, man. Just get all
Um,
the German guys together. Let's
yeah,
do this. Yeah, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Let's
Well,
do this
the
thing.
Magic are basically made up of Germans and guys from Michigan. So
Yeah, pretty much in it, bro. Yeah, you got Howard on there as well. That he's Michigan guy, and
he is. He
yeah,
is.
absolutely. That's could be a good strategy. But apart from probably a point guard, was there any other position that you kind of wanted them to address, G? Or
Um, the other issue with the trade deadline is we've got two first round draft picks this coming this off
yes,
season. We've got our
yeah,
own. We've got the Denver pick, which was owed to us from the Aaron Gordon trade.
yeah,
And you look at our roster, and I think we're average age. I did look this up earlier. 25.18, good for 11th in the NBA youngest. So
yeah.
you're not going to bring two more rookies in.
No,
We've
no.
not got enough experience on the roster as it is. So we were looking potentially that Weltman would have made a a move no, he can't trade Wendell, a Gary Harris and a first round pick to somebody like the Jazz for Sexton.
I think you could have got Sexton for that, bro, couldn't you?
You'd have hoped so. I
Yeah.
mean, they're rebuilding.
Mm.
They're playing the lottery this year for Cooper Flag. So they
Yes.
don't want to win, and we lost to the
Yeah.
Jazz twice in the last 3 weeks. So
Couple of Portland defeats as well, sprinkled
Portland
in there
defeats
too.
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
I
They're the
know.
hottest team in the NBA right now, so you can't say anything really about
No,
that,
I
can
know.
you? But that's Portland have just stormed out. You know what's going on here. Scoots decided he's playing a lot better for them guys, isn't he? But yeah, like you say, it was a bit of a surprise that they weren't. I tell you, one of the guys I like on you, I love Cole Anthony, mate. I love that guy.
Yes.
That guy's.
Yes.
He's just one of them. I saw him when he played at college for North Carolina, and he just had that kind of it factor for me where he can take over a game, and he's a very confident guy, and I think he's a very beloved teammate. I think.
Yeah, he's the absolute heartbeat of that locker room. People talk about the magic and having the right camaraderie and a real togetherness, and he is, that heartbeat of the locker room.
Yeah.
He does have his ups and downs. He's playing well quite recently. Earlier in the season, he was struggling a bit. His shot wasn't going down. But whenever he plays the Knicks, he has a good game. So all we need to do is play the Knicks, and he'll do it against his, where he's from. I love Cole. I wouldn't trade Cole. Some people would. You could probably get something for him, but he really is the heartbeat of that locker room.
Plus, his post-game interviews are like classics. It's brilliant. It's great when you see him on there. He's just like his enthusiasm is like infectious. I can imagine being around that guy every day. I can imagine he's just a real good dude to have around like every day. Do you know what I mean? Because the NBA's long, isn't it, bro? It's a long season, and you've got to have people like that around you to kind of like jingle you through, jingle you along, kind of thing. I think he's kind of one of them guys,
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's all good vibes only with Cole.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I got any sort of criticisms of him, his defense is a little bit lacking. He's a bit small, but we've got other players who can sort of cover that. Just to have him on the floor, but I'm quite happy to see him in the starting lineup at the moment in place of Jalen Suggs with his injury.
Yeah, with the height thing, sometimes he can get hunty, can't they? They post him up it's unfortunately the lack of size kind of thing. But sometimes you need them guys that they kind of can be a bit of a spark plug, can't they? Them kind of players, and like you say, it does seem like his season kind of goes in peaks and troughs, doesn't it? Kind of thing, as the saying goes. And but I think on the whole, I think he's a good guy to have on your franchise, man, for sure. So. So kind of keeping with the theme, G. So what are your kind of surprises and your disappointments for this season so far?
Yeah, so I'll probably just more focus on the players here. Some who've sort of really played well. You're looking at Goga Bitadze, guy who was drafted 18th by the Pacers. Oh gosh, the same year as Zion Williamson, and I think there's a photo of all the media crowd around Zion, and then next table over, Goga's there with nobody there. And
I didn't realize that was him, bro.
That's him. That's him. Before he had the beard. But I think people like Draymond Green sort of commented, picked up on it, and said, use that as your motivation. And he's slowly become, I'd say he's our best centre to start with the starting unit. He's averaging about 10 and 8 at the moment, solid. And we picked him up in free agency after the Pacers just cut him. So there's some shrewd business being done by the front office in the free agency market. So Goga's been a really good story. Tristan Da Silva, who's this year's rookie, he's come in, obviously. Plugged the holes in Paolo and France's absence during the course of the season. He's not averaging many, 8 and 4 maybe, but it's decent for a rookie who's just come in, earning his stripes.
So he's had some moments though, hasn't he, already? Because like you say, because of the injuries, he's probably he's probably had more minutes than probably he was going to have, which for him's probably good, to a bit more exposure kind of thing. But for the team on the whole, maybe not as much. But for him, probably for his development, probably sped up his development a little bit.
Absolutely, that's a really good point that you made there, Matt. It's a bit like what happened to Franz Wagner his first season. Jonathan Isaac and whatnot were all out, and they just gave Franz the keys. And that season, it was just about finding out what people were all about. And Franz has become this absolute monster of a player. So you can see a bit of Franz in Tristan. So yeah, very happy with that pick in the draft this year. And then other than that, I'd probably just say Franz's play. He's averaging 25 points per game this season, which is up from 19 last year. Obviously, he's the man we give the ball to in the clutch. He was fantastic on Saturday against the San Antonio Spurs, which I'm sure you're happy that we beat them.
Definitely.
Attacking Wembanyama, I think Wemby got about 2 blocks in the first quarter, and you're thinking, okay, maybe he'll just stop being. No, he kept being aggressive. He scored over 30. We obviously got the W with a jumper with 10 seconds to go, and Wemby missed the go ahead at the horn. So no, Franz is. There's a big debate in the Magic community. Who's the star man? A lot of people say Paolo, and a lot of people say Franz. It's a good problem to have.
Okay.
Obviously,
well, it could be either one any night. That's the kind of good thing, isn't it? Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely. Does it have to? Do you? I don't really understand this. Whose team is it and things? I don't really get that. It's like, well, if you got 2 guys, does it really matter? It could be one any night. Like you say, not a problem really for me to have 2 guys like that. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Sure. Like Franz has been fantastic. I was hoping he would have got an All-Star berth today, but unfortunately they've given Giannis his position to Trae Young, which I don't really agree. Well, I don't really agree with Tyler Hero being in there. Shout out to UK Dan.
Shout out to Dan. We had Dan on. Last couple of weeks ago, man. Shout out to Dan. He was he was going through it as well with the whole Jimmy Butler thing. So we went easy on Dan. He was good. But shout out to Dan, man.
Yeah, he's probably berating me listening to this now. And I'll get a message.
Yeah, probably.
No, but in fairness, Tyler Hero has had a good season, but I just obviously as a homer and looking at the stats, I think Franz deserves it, but obviously he's had his injury, so I understand how Tyler has got the nod there.
Yeah.
So and then lastly, we mentioned it earlier, Jalen Suggs, just engine. He just needs put into YouTube Jalen Suggs highlights. Wears his heart on his sleeve. He's high-fiving people in the crowd when he makes a big play. Dives on the floor. Like Cole Anthony, a real energy, heartbeat guy of the actual team. So I'd say they're the surprises. And
yeah, sorry, man. It took kind of a couple of seasons to kind of like, after he was drafted. I think he kind of struggled early on. Right?
He did. Yeah. Actually, I've got his stats here. Funnily enough.
Just on cue.
Yeah, so I think the first season he averaged 11, then I dropped to 9. He had a couple of injuries that second season. I don't think we had a full off season because he was injured. That raised to 12 last season. I just, these don't sound masses, but obviously as a third option on a team, it's not too bad. And then this season he's averaging 16 points a game, and providing us, with 16 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.5 steals. And it gets the offense going. When we start running, get on the fast break, it really does help.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, he was a very good college player. Suggs wasn't he? And I think when he came into the NBA, it was hard for him to find his role, and then he kind of found his way as a kind of like defensive stopper, but hadn't got much on the offensive end. But he's definitely made those improvements on the offensive end now, and he's made himself into a solid kind of two-way player now, Gianni, I think.
He has, yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree anymore. And that's the reason I got his jersey this year.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll be coming to jerseys later, G. I think
Yes.
it will be coming up. But like I was saying to Dan when from Miami Heat UK, the other day, it's still, you're sitting eighth. You're only 3 wins out from like 4th or 5th place, G. So it's not. We're not down in the doldrums just yet, are we?
No.
If you come back from the All Star, we were saying before we come on before we were click record, it's. I think some teams are going to welcome that kind of week off now with the All Star coming this weekend, and then I think after, it's a kind of sprint finish then to the end of the regular season. So, if the Magic, they're getting most of your guys back now, if you can kind of get it going now towards the end, who knows where you'll end up in the seedings. I think it'd be disappointing if you don't make the playoffs, won't it?
Oh yeah, I'm certain we'll make the playoffs. I'm not worried about that. I was looking through the schedule and I was actually trying to count the wins. I mean, we got Atlanta tonight, we got Charlotte, then we got at Atlanta, and obviously Atlanta have had a fire sale, haven't they? So I don't know what they're doing.
Mate, that's one of them things. It's one of them. I don't know. They haven't got the first round pick next year, and they're getting rid of everybody.
Yeah,
I don't. Didn't anybody tell them, or I don't know. Yeah, it's a weird one, mate. But yeah, carry on. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, so we've got very winnable games: Washington, Toronto twice, Chicago, Washington again. The Lakers at home should beat them. Sacramento, San Antonio, Washington again, Atlanta 2 more times. So I added up the wins. I think we'll get to 43 wins at the end of the season, which should hopefully be enough for maybe 6th, just to avoid that play-in spot. But there's teams around us, they're playing very well, especially Detroit.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think Detroit is definitely the surprise team, I think, of the year, aren't they? In East or West, in the entire league, I think. I don't think anybody really saw this coming, G, did they?
No, I didn't. Obviously, there's a lot of expectation on Cade Cunningham, and I thought maybe he didn't quite live up to the billing the last couple of seasons. But this year, they're playing well. They've got decent players in there. They got big bodies down on the block. They signed Tobias Harris, and it's all clicking. And they've got, is it Bickerstaff's their coach now, isn't it? The ex-Cavs coach.
Yeah, the ex-Cavs coach. Yeah, took over from the ex-Suns guy Monty, which it was just a disaster last year. It was just I don't know what Monty didn't want to be there, but they paid him. They offered him that much money. I don't think he could turn it down, but I don't think he was really interested in being there a great deal. And they let go of him after 1 year, and he had all his money paid on his contract. So
yeah, wasn't he the highest paid coach?
Him and Pop.
He went to Detroit. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, Bickerstaff got let go from the Cavs, and now look at the Cavs now. So Bickerstaff's now in Detroit, and he's doing well. I was never a big fan of Bickerstaff, but you have to kind of look now and go, well, look at the Cavs now. It's pretty much the team that he had last year.
Yeah.
And now look what he's doing with Detroit. Maybe, I need to put a bit more respect on his name, man, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's a good coach. So yeah.
There we go. So there you kind of any disappointments then, G, or anything?
Where do you want me to start?
Apart from the injuries, I think we kind of covered the injuries, but
well, the injuries was the number one topic, but we've kind of covered that off. It's just we just need to stay healthy. I think that's one of the reasons why Weltman didn't make any moves, and he keeps saying he wants to see how we do. Obviously, we did decent, okay last year. With healthy bodies, there's growth there. Paolo's, a year older. The game's slowing down a little bit more for him. He's getting to the line. You got all the right numbers going the right way.
Yeah.
Just need to perform a little bit better.
Yeah.
So, other than injuries, 3-point shooting. Now we touched upon this, right? So, my God, I got a stat for you.
Oh, right. Go on.
So we're shooting 30.4% as a team. 30.4, right? Okay. That's like worse than the Wizards, the Hornets, the lot.
Yeah.
Last year we shot 35%. from downtown. So
Wow.
this is the worst percentage for the team since the inaugural 1990 season for the Magic, when we shot 29.5% from downtown.
Wow.
Right? If it continues, we'll post the worst 3-point field goal percentage in the league since the Charlotte Bobcats at 29.5 in the lockout shortened 2012 season. And we put up 36 a game.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's definitely in the disappointing column. G.
Yeah.
that's,
I'm going
that's
to take my
definitely.
anxiety tablets. Hold on.
Yeah. This is why I don't quit drinking. It's one of them, isn't it? Yeah. It's a tough one, isn't it, man? That's a tough one for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like your coach though, bro. I like Mosley. You finally found somebody who kind of seems like he knows what he's doing. You've had some coaches over the years, haven't you, G? I think who really kind of weren't the right fit, or I don't know, but it kind of seems like you've kind of got an exciting young coach who
Yes.
seems like he's really got he's got good rapport with the players and they respect him and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been a breath of fresh air. Coach
Mm.
Mosley has. I mean, some of the coaches before that, we've had Steve Clifford. He used what he had, the Vucevic, Gordon, Fournier
Mm.
kind of era. He got the
Yeah.
team into the playoffs, so
Yeah.
that was in itself quite a feat.
Sure.
Um, then before that, we had Coach Vogel, who you're very familiar with, I'm sure,
Yes. Yeah.
which didn't quite pan out as good as we'd hoped.
No.
And then it's been a rough decade or so before Mosley came along
Mm.
for the team. So it's good to have the right person in the hot seat.
Mm.
Back Christmas time, he was being touted as a coach of the year candidate.
Mm.
Obviously, when we were scrapping wins, but then obviously since Paolo and Franz have come back, some people are calling for his head, and they're just the Twitter
Really?
trolls. Yeah, but it's just knee-jerk reaction nonsense.
Yeah.
You don't get rid of a coach like that.
Not when it's something that's out of your control. It's like,
Absolutely.
yeah, you're fired. Why? Because all the players are injured. Well, that's not me, but yeah, what can you do? Yeah,
I know.
it is disappointing, mate, and it's you can see why people are disappointed because they can see what could be, but like I said at the start, mate, you've got to have that luck, man, or else you're not going to get anywhere, and it's been tough so far. But like I say, it's not all doom and gloom just yet, G, is it? It's not all doom and gloom
No,
yet.
no, absolutely not. Yeah,
You can
and it's all
end the regular season good and kind of take that into the playoffs. Why not? And I don't think anybody wants to play you in the first round, bro. If you've
no.
got
I mean,
everybody healthy, I don't think anybody if you're in the play-in and it's Cavaliers or Boston, I don't think they won't play you in the first round, mate. I don't think they want to face an Orlando team. I think
yeah.
it'd be a tough out for them,
Absolutely. You talk about Dan with the Heat, and Jimmy Butler from your episode 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
Jimmy didn't really care for the season, did he? As long as you get into the playoffs, and like the Miami Heat did a couple of seasons as the play-in team, got to the finals. As
Yeah.
long as you're healthy, you're hitting your right strides as the playoffs begin. Anything could happen. When going 82-0 won't mean anything if you get a couple of injuries and you flunked the first round of the playoffs. Because end of the day, everyone's got a first to four
Yeah.
in each round. So yeah, one of those.
No, absolutely. But instead of languishing at the bottom of the East now, mate, we're kind of the Magic are kind of making the way into the your kind of upper half. It's there's been
Yes.
some lean years over the, like you said, over the last decade. It's been tough some years, I can imagine, G. But now
Yeah.
there's hope, and you've got your player for the future or two players for the future. And it's a decent coach and a kind of, it's a great organization, isn't it? The Magic. I mean, the things they do and stuff like that on court, but off the court as well. It's a great franchise, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Again, shout Dan out, but Dan was saying the Miami Heat are the best franchise. I'm sorry, Dan, they're not. The team in Central Florida are.
Oh,
They look after us, and the experience on a game day is second to none for me.
Yeah.
And that's why I go out there, every other year what I can. I'm going out in October for 2.5 weeks,
Oh, yeah.
hoping to catch the season opener and hopefully a home heavy schedule. So
Yeah.
we pray into the schedule gods.
Absolutely. How many times have you been so far,
Oh
Jim?
God, I hate to tell you. Well, 15 times.
Really? Oh, wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You've
So
met a lot of people, haven't you, through your podcast that you
have.
guys used to do. And you had ex-players on there and stuff, haven't you? And CEOs and
We've had Alex
super
Martin.
fans. You've met some amazing people, haven't you, along the way, man?
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned Alex Martins, having him on twice, and for him to know who little old us are,
Yeah.
which is absolutely brilliant. Not many people get to speak to the CEO of your favorite team. We had Greg Anthony on, Kristen Ledlow,
Yeah.
real heavy hitters in the NBA, analysis world. Nick Anderson, I got to. So prior to Mark Elfelt, Nick Anderson's my guy, the first ever player drafted by the Magic.
Yeah,
He
man.
came on the podcast. We got to interview him. That was just amazing.
That's got me one of them pinch me moments, man. I
It
mean,
was.
surely.
It was. It really
Yeah.
was.
Were you nervous for that, man? I don't know what
Oh
to do.
yeah.
I'll be honest.
Oh yeah.
Is it okay if I ask you this question? And yeah.
But luckily I'd met him, once or twice at the arena, signing jerseys and whatever else.
Oh, look at you go! I've met him already. It's fine.
I know you mean, but at the Magic, you got Bo Outlaw, Nick Anderson, are community ambassadors, and that's their job.
Yes.
So you literally, you can go and you can say hey to them at the watch parties.
Brilliant.
So, Darrell Armstrong, Admiral Schofield come on. Gosh, obviously the play-by-play guys, David Steele, Jeff Turner, some cracking stories of his time with Michael Jordan.
Oh God, yeah.
Dante Marcatelli. We've been really blessed to having, the relationship we've got with the Magic, and then, providing us with the guests. So it's been pretty amazing, to be honest with you, which was just a lockdown. Me and the boys just thinking, oh, let's just record us talking about the Magic, and look where it went.
Unbelievable, mate. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, great story, man. Just four of you just deciding, or a couple of you just deciding, it's let's just see how it goes, and then to see where the people you were having on. It's amazing kind of story, mate. Yeah, brilliant, and you must have made a lot of connections, man. Over time.
Yeah, so this is gonna sound stupid, but the weirdest thing is you're walking around the Kia Centre and people will go, gee, can I get a photo? And I'm like, why would you want a photo with me? I'm a nobody.
You want me to take a photo for you? Oh no, with me. Sorry.
Okay, no problems. And they're talking to you like they know you, and it just feels a little bit weird. And
yeah,
just support the team and just try and put out some content. That's all we used to do. Mikey and Paul and Gary had the same as well. So shout those guys out, because big part of it.
Absolutely. And it does take a lot of work, bro, doesn't it, to keep a podcast going, man? And like you said, kind of when you unfortunately the podcast kind of ended for now, and you said the amount of work that goes into it, editing, getting the guests on, research and all that, it does take a lot, doesn't it? Sometimes I think some people kind of don't understand it until you actually do it, just what it actually takes to the amount of work that goes in, and your time as well, bro, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the organization, you get a guest from across the pond, you got to remember there's a 5-hour difference. There's a couple of times somebody was in the Midwest and we're like, oh no, actually there's another hour difference, so we just have to wait around until they come on. But it was a real great time to be doing it, and never say never. I would like to restart it at some point.
Well, watch this space, guys. Watch this space. I think you should, mate. I think you should. I think it was a great thing that you did, and I'm sure people would welcome it, mate, if it comes back maybe
Yeah.
one day.
Oh,
So
thank you.
yeah, we'll stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Unless you want to break it now on the podcast, I don't know. But
No
break.
conflicts have been signed yet. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, kind of, what kind of predictions then? How do you think the season is going to end for the Magic? Then, G, kind of, what are your expectations? What do you
Yeah.
think's going to happen towards the end?
What? So last season, obviously 47 and 35. I think we will end up about 43 and 39, give or take, by the end of the season. So it's about 500. It's not a bad outcome given circumstances. If we can get to sixth, happy days. We don't have to go through the whole play-in scenario when you're looking at the teams that are in and around there. There's some dangerous teams there that anyone on their night could win a game, and you have two bad nights and
Yeah,
good night, Irene.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
you don't want to run that risk. If we weren't to make the playoffs, it would be a disaster. No two ways about it, to be perfectly honest. But like you mentioned before, the likes of Cleveland, the likes of Boston, we had a bit of a hoodoo over Boston.
Yeah.
And shout out Rich and Zach and the UK Boston guys. They put out good content as well.
Absolutely.
But they don't want us. They don't want us. We're physical, defensive. We've beaten them once this season already.
Yeah.
So you never know. Anything could happen.
No, absolutely. I mean, you could end up in a scenario where you could have Orlando and Philly as your two play-in teams. So, 1 and 2 seed have got to play either Philly or you guys. I don't know. It's like, here's your reward. Well done for finishing first and second. You get Philly or Orlando. I mean, it's not great, is it? Kind of thing. Yeah, great.
No, it's
First
not.
round. Just kick straight in, really. It's if Philly do make it at the moment, they're kind of languishing, but they're not far off the play-in, are they? If they can, again, they're another team with health. That's their season kind of, gone up in smoke a little bit, hasn't it? A bit,
absolutely.
Quite similar to Orlando's, unfortunately for Philly fans. They must be tearing their hair out, man.
Yeah, and there's an expectation there. The process obviously hasn't worked. I was watching their game against the Bucks yesterday, and obviously hoping the Bucks would beat them, and luckily they did. Just to keep that distance. It's always nice to have a bit of a buffer, and from the teams languishing behind you. So
bit of a cushion, bit of a couple of game cushion, like just keep them at bay, like absolutely.
Yeah, but they're a very talented team, Philly. On their day, Maxi, Embiid, George, they can just go off on you.
That's the joy of the playing there, bro, isn't it? It's the one-off scenario. Like they got so many games, so many players who could win games on any given night for them. That's the worry. Having them in the play, trying to play them in that play-in. It's game 7 scenario, isn't it? Win or go home kind of thing. Even if it's away from home, they could definitely do it on any given night, can't they? Even though the injuries that they've had. So that's But can you see the Magic maybe getting into making a playoff run then, G?
Yeah, I mean, a successful season. If you get to the second round, it's baby steps at the moment. Really, you're looking at Paolo and Franz. Paolo's 22, Franz is 23, Jalen's 23. They've already got a year's experience. Obviously, we've had a bit of an issue this year. If we can get as many healthy as we can, then you never know what could happen. You'd like to see us. Well, we would like to see us, obviously, and I'm sure some of the other teams wouldn't. To get out of the first round, that would be seen as a bit of a success. And then you see how you fare up against, your Bostons and your Clevelands if you can get them in the second round. And it's a learning curve for not only for the team but for Coach Mosley, making adjustments game to game, just trying different things. So the ultimate goal, is to win the championship, and it's not something we've done yet. So I'm just hoping it happens before I before I die.
Yeah. So I feel your pain, mate, being a Suns fan, bro. I haven't quite got
Yeah,
there yet, dude. So
no,
been close a couple of
no.
times, but not quite made it to the over the hump, like. So, yeah, absolutely. But were you just while I'm thinking, G, when you drafted Paolo, were you wanted him to draft Paolo? What were your thoughts on him before he was drafted?
If you go back and look at our podcast episode, and we had a live as well during
Oh, did
the
you? Oh, wow.
yeah.
Amazing.
And in fairness, Gary was the one who wanted Paolo, and to be
Right.
honest with you, we didn't watch enough content on the college teams and whatever. So obviously, I think I wanted Chet, and then there's a couple who wanted Jabari. I think Mikey wanted Chet also. So it was a bit of a mixed bag, but Gary was the one who was really honing in on Paolo. But I think it was the right choice.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Chet's a decent player, isn't he, in his own right? Has his injury issues already, which is always a worry of a guy of his age. But I do keep in contact with college basketball, and for me, it was Paolo. It wasn't even a debate, bro. For me, I was just like, it shouldn't be a debate. But I think even up until the day of the draft, it wasn't really known which way you were going to go. It was really strange. Usually, it's kind of the worst kept secret that where teams are going to go with the first pick.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Like way in advance, like days in advance. Like the Magic, they kept the cards close, and it was like they're not gonna let Paolo go, right?
Yeah, but, and it was quite refreshing that the media didn't know.
So it should be really. Yeah, it kept kind of the excitement right up until the draft started. It's like, are they going to go there? Are they going to get Paolo? Are they going to get Chet? Or some other way? But yeah, I don't think there's any regrets with the pick now, bro. Is it for sure?
No, not for that draft. In fact, I had a bit. When you said about the disappointments, I did have one little note. 2023 draft class. Not happy. Not happy at all. Obviously, we drafted Anthony Black 6.
Yes.
And the Magic community know my feelings on Anthony Black. I am not a fan.
You're not a fan of Black, no.
He has decent games every now and again. He played well against the Spurs. He's not the ball handler we need as a point guard. He's a defensive stopper. He can shoot the ball, at times. He's averaging 9 points a game in 24 minutes. But you draft him at 6.
Yeah.
In year 2, for me, you haven't quite seen enough. Defensively, he can do a job, but you could put someone in for the G League who could do a job on defense, to be honest with you. And then we picked Jet Howard at 11. Again, there's players who went after these two. Grady Dick was one of them at the time.
Yeah,
shooting lights out in Toronto.
Yeah.
I think was it Koulibaly as well, Washington. And again, Gary was all over Koulibaly. We'd listen to Gary, and he's averaging 4 points a game and shooting 31% from downtown as a 3-point specialist. So,
a
little bit disappointed in those two, if I'm being honest with you. And it looks like a bit of a miss at the moment, but things could change. So,
I mean, I think Jet Howard coming into the league was very raw. He was definitely a project. So it might be a couple of years before you see kind of what kind of player he's going to be. It was a strange pick that high. I thought really for Howard. That was what I thought at the time, mate.
Yeah, that was the consensus.
It was kind of like everybody was like, "Oh, that's a reach at that number," kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? You could have maybe got him later on. If did you want to trade down or something? You could have done something maybe. I don't know, but it seemed a strange pick at the time. Time will tell, mate. I think really, but from what I've seen of Black, he has moments, but then other moments you kind of forget he's on the court, kind of thing. Not that I don't watch obviously Magic as much as you, G. Keeping that streak going. But from what I've seen, mate, that's kind of what I've seen of Black. He has moments, but consistency is probably the thing you're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah, he was aggressive on Saturday night, and and it worked. But on
Yeah.
I think Tuesday night last week, I can't remember who we were playing. It was probably the end of the road trip. Might have been Denver away, and
Yeah.
he played about 20 odd minutes. He didn't shoot the ball once. He
Wow.
just didn't look for it. A couple of turnovers, silly turnovers. Was it against Golden State? It was either against Golden State or Denver, and yeah, a game to be forgotten for him. But you know, everyone has those games, I guess. So
Sure. No, absolutely.
let's hope he picks it up.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Like you say, young team, man. You know, average age 25. Did you say? Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, so it's you know, there's still room for growth, isn't there, and stuff. They're not the finished article. A lot of these guys, isn't it? So you've kind of like your GM has probably said. You know, you've kind of got to find out whether these guys are going to be the players you want going forward, and then if they're not, then you know maybe you have to make a move and. You know, maybe that's why they didn't make the moves at the deadline because they're going to see how the season ends from now till the end, and then maybe, like you say, the off season might be a time then where you start addressing things. But we'll definitely wait and see, mate. So only time will tell. So next segment, we're going to go with jerseys. Now, it's probably the worst kept secret, G, as your man who likes a jersey.
Oh God, yeah.
How dare you tell us how many jerseys you've got?
Oh gosh, last count, it's close to 60.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, it's a bit of a problem.
It's a labor of love, isn't it? Yeah. Is it a compulsion? Do you have to have?
I have to have one of every single one. Yeah, I have to. You know, the City one comes, I have to have it, no matter what.
Wow. Okay.
So I've got one of each one. And again, Dan said a couple of weeks ago, you know, I think he was missing 2.
It's not missing many now.
No, so I've got, you know, at least one of each, and sometimes I've got more than one of each if I like another player or whatever else, or you know, authentic or a replica or whatever. So yeah. So I mean, if anyone's watching on YouTube, I do have them here. So I picked out 5.
Okay, so these are your favourite Magic jerseys, aren't they? Yeah, over time. Yeah,
that's it. So in 5th, I'll so I've got this the space jersey, as I'll call it, from probably about 2016-17. It's a City jersey. Unfortunately, it's got Jonathan Simmons on the back because that one season wonder he had. But you know, there's not many people who's got Jonathan Simmons on a jersey.
Very true. So we're going for unique, aren't we? It's unique.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's very pretty, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely, yeah, man. It's got the nice logo on the front there, mate. Loving that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I went for another City jersey. So this is my favourite City jersey of all time because it's got a bit of a homage to, you know, the original pinstripes. So the Magic went back to a bit of, went with a bit of orange. Now my wardrobe is primarily black, blue, and white. Literally, there's nothing else. So having a bit of colour in there was a welcome sight for my wife. So it's a
refreshing change then, that one.
This little beauty here with the pinstripes and the wording down the pinstripes.
That's 2021-22 City edition, right?
I believe so. Yes. Yeah. Before the whole Kingdom on the Rise, and obviously I got the goat on the back.
I mean, the Magic pinstripe, mate, is iconic, isn't it? Over from yesteryear, the Shaq and Penny days. It's you know. I'm sure you've got a couple from that era coming, but you know that pinstripe is almost like the sun's starburst. It'll keep coming back. It'll keep coming back over time. You know, like the Toronto, you know, the Raptor thing. You know, they're doing it this year for Vince Carter and thing. It'll just keep coming back every few years. We're like, we're bringing that back again, and probably like Miami Heat, the Vice one, that'll probably just keep coming back every 3 or 4 years or something. You know, they'll just keep releasing it. But yeah, the pinstripe, it's one of those iconic kind of jerseys that most probably collectors like to have at least one of.
Yes, absolutely. Then I'll go with what was the 01-04 jersey, but obviously we brought it back last year as a classic, which is the old. It's almost like the cartoon with the stars in the background.
The stars, yeah, that was it. Yeah, so yeah.
So again, I've gone with the
Oh, you gone with it
on the
gone with
reverse.
your boy on that. How many Fultz jerseys are we saying, G? How many Fultz jerseys have we got? Dare you say on the podcast?
Yeah, I'm happy to say it, mate. Loud and proud. About 8.
Oh, love that, mate. Love that, man. You know, them, you know, you have your superstar players, don't you? But there's always kind of them, they're maybe not superstars.
Heroes.
Yeah, them ones that you really kind of, you almost like connect with them, don't you? I don't know why you get them guys, don't you? Where you really kind of pull for them, you know, and it's great to see. And everybody's got their own kind of guy, that player that they're pulling for, and obviously Fultz is your guys in that case and stuff. Yeah, it's amazing. They're the ones, and there's kind of always a story behind it or whatever. And yeah, it's good to see, man.
Yeah, and I think it's literally a year to tomorrow that I actually met Markel on the court
Did you?
at the game, and obviously he's signed that jersey. So that was a surprise and an absolute privilege. So very lucky to have that experience. So I've got 2 more, and no surprises. We're going back to the originals.
Scotty, mate. The white pinstripe, mate. It goes hard. That does, bro. That's
it does.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. The Penny Hardaway on the back. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
I mean, one thing I did like about the jerseys in the olden days was, let's say the olden days, God, what do I sound like? Was the fact that you had the home jersey was white.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes. Yes. I'm with you, mate, because it was the away team always wore their coloured jerseys and the home was always in the white, always. That's how it always was, wasn't it? Yeah.
And how it should be.
Now, I haven't got a clue. It's just like some 2 teams, both of them wear the coloured jerseys now, and it's all, you know, whatever. It's crazy now, man.
Yeah.
But they only had a home and away jersey back then. You didn't have, like, some teams this year have got 5 jerseys. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
That's
almost.
Crazy.
And as due, it's hitting your bank balance as well, bro.
I know. And then the last one to finish off. This is my favourite. Is the blue pinstripe.
Nice. Yeah. So is that the 75th anniversary one? Is it the gold?
No, this is the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, sorry, 50. Yeah,
of
course.
Gold Jerry West.
With the gold Jerry West on. Yeah, man, that's...
that one goes hard.
I bet that's not the only one you've got of them.
This is the only one with the gold 50. These are quite rare. This is from what, 97?
I think it was 97, mate. Yeah,
97. And I think it was only on the Authentics as well. They put them obviously on the old champion stuff. So I think I just got it off eBay, luckily enough. So
wow. You know, when you buy a lot of jerseys, when you have Hooping and Littering tagging you into things.
Yeah,
Geraint, I've got your jersey. Or that's when you know you're going to buy a lot of jerseys, when you have the suppliers getting stuff for you, man. That's when you know you've made it, mate.
Yeah, no, fair play. Elliot's absolutely brilliant. You've got to shout him out. What he does for the community. His store, his socials, what he does for basketball in the UK. So absolutely top man. I actually saw him down. He did an MC job at a Uwick Archers girls game. Summer last year. So I went down with him and bit of banter. I think he was talking to I think it was a little boy, a little girl, and he shouted out, the one in the GOAT jersey, and I'm thinking, I can't see any Michael Jordan jerseys around here, and obviously with somebody wearing a LeBron jersey, and he's just giggling away like a little girl.
seeing if you were triggered by it, mate.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I need to puck up the courage to ask Elliot to come on the pod at some point. I don't know. I need to gather up a bigger following or something before I ask him. I don't know, but I'd like to get him on the pod at some point, man. Because like you say, everything he does is it's great for the community and stuff, isn't it? The basketball community and things like that. And yeah, absolutely.
It is. Yeah. So they're my favorite Magic jerseys. And I did do a very quick couple of other jerseys, and I had the Suns purple.
Nice.
Obviously, you got to have Hardaway 1 on the back,
yeah, that's okay too, mate. Yeah, absolutely. But the Starburst is it's one of them. It just stands the test of time, mate. They'll just keep bringing it back, man.
Yeah, the Timberwolves in the 90s, the blue, was the Kevin Garnett one. I thought that was,
Yeah.
especially the font on that, is absolutely brilliant.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
the Seattle Sonics with the Space Needle in the late 90s, Gary
Yes.
Payton, Sean Kemp. I love them.
Yeah.
This year's Sacramento Kings City edition, like that.
Yeah. Nice.
And then obviously, as you mentioned, the Raptors originals, they're just fire. They are just fire.
Yeah, yeah. I was on about with this Tom. We had Tom on from Matt the Buzzer UK a couple of weeks ago, and we were laughing because like the time when they brought those jerseys out at the time, they were completely laughed at and ridiculed, and now they're like a cultural icon.
Yeah.
Everybody has to have a Toronto and the Vancouver Grizzlies one as well, the same. And now they're like these style iconic, basketball jerseys now, but at the time they weren't so much,
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a weird one. So last thing before we kind of head out, G. So obviously watched every Orlando Magic game. What kind of other players that kind of catch your eye as you watch and play the Magic or any other games that you watch? Have you got like a top five of players that you kind of enjoy watching?
Yeah, I should do a bit of a deep dive here. Obviously, I like one team and I dislike 29, just on different levels. Um, so I did write, first two I wrote down was Nick Vucevic and Aaron Gordon, and I thought, now that's probably cheating because ex-Magic players. So
You still keep tabs on them, bro, yeah?
I know. Yeah. I mean, I'd
Yeah.
love Nick Vucevic to come back. He's a top dude. Met him in the tunnel after a game and signed with Jersey. Yeah, really, really good guy. AG, obviously, he played for us for a long time. Got a lot of time for AG. But yeah, so I'll cut out the Magic stuff. So players not on your team. Anthony Simons.
Nice.
I
Okay.
like
Yeah.
Anthony Simons. I mean, he's got the same first name as Penny. He wears number 1. He's from Orlando. That kind of helps a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah.
And he was obviously one that I did want to pick up at the trade deadline, but wasn't to be. Nikola Jokic. What he's doing on the court is, simply unbelievable.
Yeah. Jokic is that good, mate. He's even resurrected Westbrook's career. That's how good. That's how good playing with him. I'm sure that's one of the reasons why Westbrook went there, isn't it? To play with Jokic week in, week out. So that's the kind of pull he has now, isn't it?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, absolutely. And then you don't mind if Denver do well. I don't mind if Portland do well. Sacramento, that's Phoenix, the sort of smaller market teams. I'm not one of these guys that like the big markets. Yeah, people who wear yellow or green, or in South Florida, none of them.
I feel like there's a theme here. There's a running theme here. It's kind of like the minnows versus the big boys, isn't it?
Yeah. On me, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Everyone knows how I go.
Absolutely.
Who else do I like? Naz Reid. I think he's brilliant.
Okay, Naz Reid. Love that, mate. Love that, bro.
Just random, but he comes when he comes onto the Timberwolves, just different. Big guy, shoot the threes, he can bang down low. Got a lot of time for him, and somebody I wouldn't have minded seeing on the Magic roster. And then after that, so how many is that? So I said Simons, Naz Reid, Jokic. So I have 2 more. Cade Cunningham. I like Cade Cunningham. Really good ball handler. Obviously, he's showing great development this season.
I think a lot of people raised eyebrows when they paid him all that money, but I think now he's showing that what kind of a player he can be. And yeah, like I say, Detroit definitely is the surprise team of the year for sure, aren't they? So, and he's the catalyst to that. He always has the ball in his hands at the end of games, doesn't he? For sure. So
he does, yeah. So as long as it's not to the detriment of my team, then I'm all right for him to do well. And then last one, I'll go Devin Booker.
Love that. Yes,
bring it full circle. Yeah. Booker's a great player.
Yes, mate.
Go
yes,
off,
man.
he can go off at any time, can't he? And I think the year he was drafted, I think he was hoping the Magic would have picked him, and obviously we didn't. I can't remember who we picked that season. It might be was it Mo Bamba?
Might have been.
Might have been
Yes.
Mo Bamba. That was a mistake.
Yeah, how did that work out, dude? Yeah, no, not so much. No, I think Mo Bamba was maybe when we drafted Ayton, I think. When we drafted Ayton.
We're gonna have to bring this up now, aren't we?
We're gonna have to find out now.
We're gonna have to quickly go onto internet.
Mate, there's a lot of teams, mate, who let Booker slip through the fingers, mate, in that draft. So you're not the only one, mate.
2015, right? So you picked Booker at 13.
Yeah.
Who did we pick? Oh God, it gets worse. Mario Hezonja.
Oh, ouch! Yeah. That's. Where's he playing again? Is he in Europe again now?
He is playing in Europe with FC. Oh no, who's he playing with now? He's with Real Madrid.
Oh, Real Madrid now. Okay, yeah.
Apparently,
he was all right. It wasn't Devin Booker there.
No, exactly.
I'll be honest, mate. I support Kentucky in college basketball, mate. I didn't think Devin Booker was going to be this good, and I watched him most games. I thought, he'll be all right. He will be a nice 6-man guy, he'll be okay. I didn't think he was going to be this guy. Yeah. So, watching him week in, week out in college, mate, I didn't see this. So, I can understand why people didn't pick him in the draft, mate. But I'm biased, obviously, because I watch him all the time. But he's definitely a good guy to watch, man, for sure. But no, I feel like you did that last one for me, mate, and appreciate it.
No, it was on the list. It was on the list, and he's somebody, and we're not going to be able to trade for him. We haven't got the assets to, without giving up one of our guys. But somebody, if we had a Booker in there with Franz and Paolo, it's a three-headed monster there, isn't it?
Something there, then, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I'm just glad you didn't trade Geraint for a bag of chips.
Well, there was a lot of talk, mate, but I'm not sure whether the talk was actually real or not, mate. There was a lot of reporting going along, but I don't know how much of it's true, to be honest. They keep saying that the dressing room's toxic and things, but I haven't really seen much of that in terms of bad morale or anything. But it was a crazy last week in the NBA, was it not, G?
It was. It was. We were talking off there, weren't we? I was talking about the Doncic stuff.
And have you got any thoughts about the Luka trade, bro?
Well, how do they always get away with it?
They can't keep getting away with this. That was what I was thinking.
Yeah, but when you were speaking on your pod, the same conversations we were having in the Magic group, it's like, no, he's been hacked. It can't be real. No way. Why would you trade Doncic? It's just
you don't do that. He's one of the 5 players in the league that you do not trade.
In his prime,
especially in February. What are we doing? What are we doing? We don't call anybody else. We're only calling one team. What are we doing? The returns that some players, like what Knicks had to give up to get Bridges in the off-season. How many first-round picks they had to give up? And they just didn't get any of that. It's just, I still can't believe it, mate, in some ways, to be honest. I still haven't got over it. I don't think I ever will. When I see him, because he might play tonight. Is it tonight?
I think it was, Monday night.
It's going to make me sick, mate. I see him in that yellow jersey. It's going to make me sick, bro.
Yeah,
it really is.
Not good.
Well, we could have drafted him because we drafted Ayton instead. And I watched Luka in the Euro League, and I'm like, if we don't take this guy, this is ridiculous. I don't care how good Ayton is. People think Ayton's going to be. I don't care about the pairing with Booker. This guy is a generational talent. This guy's been playing with grown men since he was 14 years old. It's a no-brainer. The guy is ridiculous, and he's going to be an amazing NBA player. And they took Ayton, and I don't think I've ever got over that.
At least you didn't take Bagley.
Yeah. How's that working out? Yeah, not so much.
Yeah,
not so much. But,
only just still in the league.
Yeah, I mean, it's what the Lakers do, bro, isn't it? They get these marquee names, and they've done it forever and ever. They've done it when they got Kareem from the Bucks way back when. Shaq, sorry, mate. Dwight Howard, sorry, mate. It's just been a thing over time. As this is what they do. It's the bright lights. It's just for the return. The return, man. It just I was waiting for when you're waiting for that other tweet where they go, yeah, and as well they got
and
this
12 first-round picks.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And it's like, no, that tweet's not coming. I'm like, that can't be everything, right? It's Davies and this other guy. I'm like, what? Oh man, and now this kind of PR thing now about how difficult Luka was, and he wasn't engaged off the court. He wasn't serious enough, and it's not a good look. I don't think personally from Dallas, to be honest, it's not a good look.
Not at all. And they're looking at the next 3-4 years. The press conference, it's almost like he said, "Well, I won't be in this job in 10 years. I don't care."
I've literally just swung for the fences. Yeah. These two guys have got together, aren't they? They're friends, aren't they? Harrison and Pelinka. They go way back, don't they? Because Pelinka was Kobe's agent back in the day. Harrison worked for Nike. And they literally I could just imagine they just got together and go, shall we just light the league on fire and just see what happens? And I woke up on Sunday morning to this complete and utter chaos. It's just like, what's going on here? So many notifications on your phone and things. And it's gonna take a while to get over, I think. And I'm not even involved really in any way, but I still feel like I've been affected by it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think we all do. I mean, I feel sorry for Liam. Bless him. He's had a bad week with Doncic and now the Kansas City Chiefs losing.
Oh yeah, shout out to Liam. We had a bit of a therapy session on Sunday. Last Sunday, and then shout out to him. Hope he's doing okay, because it's been a tough week for him for sure. But who knows? The rich always get richer. Gee, I think that's the moral of the story, mate.
But why they didn't offer it out to the league? You could have had a plethora of first-round picks from OKC. We had so many first-round picks. We could have.
Yeah.
Even if we'd had to give away, a Franz or a Jalen or somebody, then we could pair Doncic with Banchero. We're set then, and you move him out east.
Yeah.
So to keep you in the West as well, that's mind-boggling.
Yeah. And now Davis in his first game, now he's out for a month. It's just they were protesting before the game. The fans are outside and. They are not happy, are they, Dallas fans?
No, they're not.
They are not happy, and I'm not sure. I don't blame them. I don't think
because
they feel like you've kind of traded the franchise for the next 10 years. He's probably made, in the first 5 years, he's been in 5-6 years. He's been in the league. It's probably one of the best starts to a season. There isn't many people who've had a good seasons as Luka started from his rookie year. So you just don't trade people like that away. And he's just gone, nah, screw that. We'll do it. Come on, let's go. I'd love to know what Cuban thinks, part owner now. He wouldn't have done it, I don't think, if he'd have been in charge.
I did see a clip of him, and I think he was talking to Bill Gates.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
And he said, what if I had Windows 11? But I thought, no, do you know what? I'll go back to Windows 10. I don't know.
Great analogy.
Yeah.
I bet he's got thoughts, but we probably won't ever hear his real thoughts. But I bet he was just dumbfounded, really, by that decision. I just don't know how you come round to, that's the step we're going to take. But who knows if they win a title in a couple of years? When they say he was right, I don't know. I don't think they will, but time will tell. I just think Lucas hasn't even. He's probably not even in his prime yet. He's 25, and that's the scary part. And now you've paired him with one of the greatest players ever to play, and LeBron maybe gets another go around at another title, which some Michael Jordan fans will not enjoy.
No. I don't think he's adding to it. Don't worry about that.
Well, yeah, maybe not, mate. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have enough around him. But I don't know. When you get to the playoffs, mate, and you've got LeBron and Luka, I don't know. They can alternate having big games every night, couldn't they? Playing every other day. It's a scary prospect, really. Because I know what Luka can do in the playoffs because I've seen it. Slow and painful death when he abused us in Game 7 at home. I've seen it. There's not much you can do about it, bro.
No, it can happen. Hopefully it won't. Hopefully
it won't.
Yeah.
But, I think that's all we got time for, bro. Unless there's anything else you wanna say before we head out, man.
No, I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thank you ever so much for having me on.
Pleasure, mate.
Hopefully we'll have a good end of the season for the Suns and the Magic, especially.
Yeah,
and maybe we can make a deep run into the playoffs and do it again.
Hopefully so, mate. Hopefully so. It's a pleasure to have you on, mate. Apologies that it's been so long and getting you on, but we finally did it, and it was good fun. So thank you very much for agreeing to come on, mate. You're welcome back on the Shooters Lounge anytime, mate. So thank you very much. Do you want to tell people where they can find you on the socials, dude, before we head out?
Yeah, no worries. So on Twitter or X, myself, I'm at Geraint. That's spelled at GERA, the number 1 NT. Then the Orlando Magic UK, all at Orlando Magic UK. That's obviously X, Instagram, and Facebook. So yeah, we're trying to ramp up the content now with the season.
Getting to the business end now, bro, aren't we? Getting to the business end of it now. Absolutely. Yeah. But guys, if you don't follow Geraint and Orlando Magic UK, go give them a follow, mate. They're always active on the socials. Even if you're not an Orlando Magic fan, just give them a follow anyway. They're good guys to follow, and Geraint's always got opinions on on everything NBA. So go give him a follow, guys. So I'm Matt at Post at 323. So you'll be able to watch this podcast on YouTube, and also it'll be available on podcast form on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. So we'll be back again for another episode very soon, guys. So take care, and we will see you again very soon.